We're at 1 minute past, so let's just gradually get started and let's see if more people want to trickle in during as well. Excuse me. We're really excited to have you all here today. This is our final event of 2022, and we have at MetricsDAO a lot in store for 2023. First of all, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being here with us throughout the year. All of this is, possible thanks to our community. So we're really excited you're here. We really appreciate you. We hope you're getting ready for a lovely holiday season. And we just couldn't wait to share with you all of the exciting things we have coming out at the start of the new year. So this event, this community call, is a little preview of our new Metrics app, which is our big exciting news for January 2023. It's launching in January, and it's going to provide a decentralized marketplace for on-chain analytics at scale for the entire space. So we're really excited to have Elise here today, who's worked tirelessly on developing the app, and will introduce the app a bit more and answer some questions. Some of the questions came in from the audience in Discord, and if you have questions today as well, you'll be invited to ask them. After we're going to go through a couple of the ones that were asked in Discord before. And just a reminder, we are recording, and you're welcome to ask questions either in chat or when we invite you to ask them. Otherwise, if you're not speaking, please keep yourself muted. With that, without further ado, I will introduce Elise, and Elise is here to talk about the app.
Awesome. Thank you, Marina. And hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. As Marina mentioned, I'm going to kind of give a verbal walkthrough of what we've been working on and what we can start to get excited about. If you have questions after that, definitely happy to answer them. Or if you have questions as I go and you don't want to forget, just feel free to put them on the chat and we'll make sure we try to cover as many as possible. So I want to get started. So we've been really grateful and lucky at MetricsDAO in the past year to build such an awesome community-driven analytics program. We've seen hundreds of you analysts participate in various challenges for brainstorming and analytics, and it's really scaled and helped us grow success in the space and for each other and for partners. Over the past year, we've done so well, in fact, that we've actually seen an opportunity to scale how we operate and further automate and decentralize the challenge operations and user experience overall. So this is why we've decided to build the decentralized app on top of an upcoming protocol, which we'll share more about in the coming weeks. But really, this new app is going to allow for many more participants to be involved at every stage of the analytics process. So really, the app is going to allow for anyone, so any protocol, project, DAO, organization, individual, to be enabled to request work in an open marketplace and have it be completed. So questions answered, problems solved, have things peer reviewed at a broader scale, and have rewards be distributed accordingly automatically. And so what's different about what we're building now is it's really a self-service experience. So instead of relying on MetricsDAO to facilitate challenges week by week or whatever it is, this actually opens up the opportunity for other entities to launch and fund their own challenges that they care about for others to participate in. So much more permissionless, much more open and transparent, which is really exciting. It's truly enabling a marketplace where Web3 or even Web2 projects can tap a really talented community of analysts, launch challenges, fund them with either stable coins or their tokens, where analysts can then go and find things that they're interested in answering or solving, claim challenges, have things peer reviewed, and be able to earn rewards like you always have, as well as earn reputation in the MetricsDAO ecosystem. So how it might work. So what we're going to be introducing is an app where you can go and connect a wallet. And what you hold in your wallet is going to give you different access to different workflows. And so As a user, when you connect, you would be able to go and see various challenge marketplaces, as we're calling them. Think of challenge marketplaces as basically a collection of many challenges which have things in common. So what they might have in common is that they work within the same chain or project, within the same theme, such as hacks or scams or noteworthy news, and they have the same prerequisites to participate, both as someone who could launch challenges or work on them, and they have the same reward parameters. So the way in which funds are distributed to winners. What's cool about marketplaces is it gives us a way to set up different sets of challenges that might cater to different types of analysts or partners, where some might be catered more to onboarding and educating analysts in the space, and others might be more catered to solving really complex problems with a group of seasoned analysts. And so these are very flexible and can kind of be designed in a way that drives the best outcomes for the analysts working within them, as well as partners, depending on what their goals are. What's really cool as well is everything is going to start to be on-chain. So we're moving away from Notion and forums and Web2 tools and kind of entering this space where you have an on-chain identity, you have a reputation, you hold things in your wallet that allow you to do certain things like claim challenges, launch challenges, which is really exciting. And so similar to today, you're still going to have challenges that you can see if it's something that you want to spend your time on. We're going to give you the opportunity, assuming you have the proper level of reputation for that marketplace, to claim them. Something a bit different is that we're not going to have limits on claims. You're going to be able to actually work on anything you choose, assuming the kind of parameters of the marketplace fit your level of skill and interests, that the reward curve is something that you're comfortable spending time in and would feel rewarded with. And so when you claim them, you're actually committing to that work. You're going to temporarily lock your reputation against it. And so this is sort of our way of ensuring that things are going to be worked on. You're seeing things through. You're able to grow your reputation in the space as well, and that you're really setting yourself up for success as well. Similar to challenges today as well, you would be able to submit results. So if it's a brainstorm, marketplace, and challenge, this is a place where you would submit question ideas or problem ideas that analysts could eventually go and solve. And so these are the types of things where you'd submit a question or a problem or an idea, and then these things would be prioritized through peer review. In the analytics path, it would be submitting a tool or a dashboard, and actually doing analytics to answer one of these questions or solve one of these problems or create tools. What's a bit different as well in this process is as you're reviewing challenges and you're going to claim things and participate, you can actually openly see everyone who's engaging in this challenge. So you can see all the participants who have signaled interest in submitting, so they've claimed, or they've claimed to review, they've actually submitted something or reviewed something. So the whole ecosystem is very open, and you can understand who you might be either collaborating with or competing with at any moment. It also allows us to really track intent to work and who's working. So this helps us also estimate projected rewards for yourself, which is really helpful in making a decision of, do I want to spend time working on this challenge? Is the incentive right for me at this point in time? Another thing that's exciting is all of the submissions that come in are available in peer reviewed in real time. So as submissions come in, those with a peer review badge, some of our more seasoned analysts at first are able to go in and review things as they come in. We're going to have a much more simplified scale for reviewing. So sort of thinking about scores on a qualitative level of, is this a great, good, average, bad, or spam submission? Where each of those qualitative scores hold a weight of 100, 75, 50, 25, 0, respectively, which helps us understand as well an overall numerical score for each submission, which helps us really clarify quality, break ties, and get a look at who should be deemed as a winner based on the reward curve and the scores, and what should be showcased to the projects requesting the work and the community. What's awesome too is this review process is A, more simplified, B, helps us really elevate quality, but it also opens up the possibility to have more reviewers, have them come in real time and not wait for the submission period to end. And it also allows us to have quality through consensus, where we can have multiple scores on each submission as opposed to only a few as we've had in the past. So I think this will be really great, get more people involved, increase fairness, increase quality. Once these winners are determined and all these reviews are visible and accessible and the winners have been selected, what's another exciting update is that rewards will be much more streamlined. So as soon as the review period ends and challenge winners are selected, there's going to be a rewards portal or page, I guess, I should call it, where winners can go and claim rewards. So they'll see that they have rewards pending. They can go and just manually claim them. These funds will be distributed directly to the payout address that you've previously set up. And this will happen in a matter of minutes. We're actually working with a payments protocol to make sure this can be as automated as possible. It'll also support payments on the protocol chain as well as cross-chain to ensure that we can pay out both in stable coins or partners' native tokens if they wish to fund challenges with those. So this is huge. There's not going to be any confusion anymore of when payment is coming or any big backlogs. It'll also be nice to see when a claim is processing, and also when it completes, you can actually go and see that transaction on the Block Explorer. I mentioned payout addresses as well. There's going to be a place in rewards to basically set defaults for each chain that we're supporting as well. And so these can be managed whenever you need to swap them out before you claim. Just make sure you do that, and we'll ensure that those payouts go to that payout address, which can also be separate from the address you use to log into the app if you choose. Any questions I can answer from there? I think I felt like kind of a good overview. I do want to say that in the new year, we will be offering a demo as well. So looking forward to sharing that. In the meantime, we can kind of share our MVP light paper as well as links to our product design. So you at least have a visual of that in the meantime.
Thank you, Elise, so much for giving an overview of the app. Super, super excited to see it in action in January and to kind of see the decentralized spirit of the space as a whole kind of manifest itself through in our process and in our challenge process and in the way everyone can participate. So yeah, really excited. Hope you all are as well. We did get a couple of questions before this call on Discord as well as in the chat. Let me pose a couple of those to you, Elise, and then we'll take some questions from the audience as well if you have any live.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So Ali is here on this call, and Ali actually asked in Discord prior to this to kind of elaborate more on the difference between a challenge and the challenge marketplace. So I wonder if you can kind of go a bit more into that.
Yeah, so think of a marketplace as basically a collection of challenges that are all similar in some way. So it's sort of like a categorization of challenges, and that can be based on the project or chain, the theme, the topic. It also ensures that all the challenges within that marketplace have the same entry parameters, so like requirements to participate, as well as reward structures. So which tokens can be paid out, what the reward curve is, and how rewards will be distributed to winners. And so that creates a consistent economy within that marketplace, whereas a challenge is an individual request, or previously what we've called a bounty. So a specific time-based request that's funded and is asking a particular question or solving a problem or asking for a specific tool.
Awesome. Thank you, Elise, for elaborating. And yes, just to mention, if some of you have seen recently us referring to analytics challenges, and sometimes we kind of put bounties in parentheses, that's where this change in wording is coming from. In our new app, what has previously been known as bounties, analytics bounties in the space are going to be analytics challenges. So if you see that, just a heads up, not to get alarmed or confused. That's just the app nomenclature there. And let's address a couple more questions here that came in on Discord. Elise, I was wondering if you can talk about our metric, which is mentioned in the blog post. So maybe the differences between our metric and X metric, and kind of the pathway to obtaining some R metric.
Yeah, sounds good. So I think most of you must be familiar with X metric. It's a token that's been distributed to participants in the MetricsDAO ecosystem for positive contributions, like participating in bounty programs or education courses or various community events. And so this has really represented people who have been early to the ecosystem, who have made had a good engagements and just really helped make us successful. And so that's not going to go away. That's going to continue to exist. And additionally, our metric is going to be a non-transferable reputation score that's introduced with the app and the protocol that really helps us reward analysts via the app based on their engagement in analytics and brainstorm challenges. And so this is really something that helps us understand the value added within the ecosystem when it comes to challenges. It's a balance that everyone will hold and will fluctuate based on engagement. And it ensures that we have a ongoing representation of who's contributing positively. So there's going to be ongoing issuance of this. There's going to be a decay rate so that the balance is always based on recent participation and doesn't sort of just stay stagnant for too long. And it's going to be fluid. So it'll be nice to have these two tokens with different sort of use cases and value to represent people who are adding value both with challenges as well as in the broader DAO ecosystem in general.
Awesome. I think that covers a couple of questions that kind of have been asked there in the space about our metric, about kind of entering the ecosystem, about continuing to participate. And another theme that has come up is some of the payouts for analysts that they would get after solving challenges successfully. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about that. Kian in particular asked who exactly will get paid after the reviewing process and who doesn't on the new app.
Yeah, so the way it'll work is every time a challenge is launched, it's going to be funded both with reward tokens as well as our metric. And so these pools are what will be eventually distributed to winners. And winners are determined both through peer review as well as based on the reward curve that's set for that marketplace and all the challenges within it. So we'll have a few preset reward curves in the beginning. They're basically called like very aggressive, moderate, lenient, and reward all. So these are options that a marketplace creator can set to make sure that participants are incentivized in a way that adds value for them as well as the outcome that they're looking for. And so, for example, in a more lenient marketplace, you might want to reward the top 50% of submissions, whereas in a very aggressive one, you would reward the top 5%. So every marketplace will likely be different, and this just gives flexibility into how rewards are distributed and based on, do you need only a couple outputs or a simple tool, or do you want more outputs? And so you can kind of align your needs to the reward curve in that way. And so that sets the expectation of what percent of submissions will get paid out.
Great. Another question that came in is about some of the reviewer processes and kind of that area and that space in the app. In particular, I wonder if you can talk about kind of peer review in the app context, and also something that the blog post mentioned is reviewer badges, kind of how they come about and how to interact with them if someone is a reviewer.
Yeah. So at initial launch, we are going to distribute badges to reviewers that have either A, been a reviewer in the past, or B, have shown that potential or have reached that level of reputation to do so. And so that will be a badge that is granted to you that you hold in your wallet. And so when you connect to the app, the system will know that, and then you'll have access to review and score any submission that comes in. The great thing about this too is it allows you to review in real time, and you can review multiple submissions. So every submission has many scores. And we will be introducing new kind of review guidelines, payment parameters, which will be communicated to reviewers closer to our launch. But reviewers are also incentivized and paid for doing this as well.
Great. And I'll do one more question from the ones that came in, and then let's, after that, open up the floor and see if anything hasn't been addressed or if someone got inspired to ask a question during. And so, kind of the last of the prepared or the pre asked questions by our community is, and I'm going to make it a little more general than how it was asked. Just to kind of cover a bit more ground and kind of a bit more use cases, what happens to bad actors in the system under the new app, and kind of what are some ways that on maybe any side, bad actors will be prevented from like participating in bad faith?
Yeah, so one way that we're going to be sort of disincentivizing bad action is through the claiming process. So when you go to claim in order to submit something or claim in order to review submissions, you have to temporarily lock your R metric against that challenge as commitment and good faith that you're going to follow through on your commitment. So if that's claiming to submit, it means you're locking the minimum R metric required to participate in that challenge, and you have to submit at least one either question idea if it's a brainstorm, or dashboard if it's an analytics challenge. And if you don't do so before the deadline, that R metric will be slashed. In the review path, if you want to go claim to review, we basically give you a choice of how many submissions you commit to reviewing at a minimum. And so we also lock our metric against that minimum. And if you hit your minimum, your R metric's returned to you. If you don't, you're slashed for how many submissions you failed to review as part of that minimum commitment. And so this is just ensuring that our participants are committed to doing work, and there's a reward for them that, if you participate, you do good things, you're going to continue to earn our metric over time. If you don't, you're going to be slashed, and hopefully learn from that and it won't happen again.
Awesome. Really cool to hear about how all different parts of the ecosystem will be automated. We did get a question in chat. Since the R metric token decays over time, if someone was idle for a while, how will they be able to re-participate in the challenges? If you can clarify.
That's a great question. So we're solving through that with something called reputation freezing. And so quickly after launch, there will be a setting in which you can basically put up an away message. For whatever reason, if you know you're not going to be participating for a while, whether for personal reasons, travel, whatever it might be, you can pause reputation decay so that your current R metric balance isn't impacted by you knowing that you're not going to be able to participate for a while.
Great. Thank you so much for elaborating. DB asked, sorry if I missed this, what chain will it be on?
The protocol is being planned to be launched on Polygon.
Great. I see some more people typing, and while they're typing, does anyone have questions that you would like to ask using your voice and the microphone? You are welcome to unmute and ask. All right, seems no takers yet on the voice questions, which is totally okay, whichever you're comfortable with. I'm going to take a look at the chat again. How is the Genesis supply decided? I assume you mean our metric binaries. And is it based on the current ranks in recent tasks?
It will be informed by that, but not totally limited to that. So based on your X metric balance and your participation early in the ecosystem, that's definitely going to have an impact. We can also bootstrap reputation as we see fit, depending on particular skills or examples that we've seen in the past. So that's something that we'll communicate as we get closer as well, once we have a more formal approach to how that will work.
Thanks. And a follow-up question came about bad actors and disincentives. Could you also shed some light on the challenge proposal, bad actors? And I think this might have to do with locking up tokens at the challenge setup, right?
Sorry, could you say that one more time?
Sorry, could you also shed some light on the challenge proposal, bad actors, if somebody proposes a challenge but does not pay up?
Oh, so in order to launch a challenge, you actually have to fund it up front.
Great. Hope that covers your question, Sandesh. And Patma says he's really excited about the app.
Awesome.
We are too. Ali has a question in chat, and I'm happy to take that one. And at least if you have more to add, I would love to hear. How can we participate in the decision making of the DAO as a whole? Is there a way to submit proposals or vote on future changes? So a little bit about our governance process. We have kind of three main steps, and this is documented in our docs.metricsdao.xyz. You can read more, but just kind of an overview. Any kind of governance proposals first begin as something that's called the meetup. I think it's MetricsDAO improvement proposal is short for kind of something like that. Don't quote me on the exact abbreviation, maybe Elise remembers. But that's kind of the place where DAO contributors and members can propose an improvement, and that's open for the community to discuss and comment on, and that lives on our discourse. So discourse.metricsdao.xyz. You can check out the past proposals there, you can check out comments, discussions, etc., and kind of weigh in. That's how our code of conduct, in fact, was passed through the conversation and kind of community input on discourse. After that, the proposals go through our two-step voting, which includes MetricsDAO contributors and MetricsDAO governance. And there's a little bit more about that on our docs, as I mentioned. I'll post a link here in a second. So there's, for each proposal that kind of originated as a discussion on discourse, there is first a temperature check vote that our contributors and our governors vote on. And if the temp check vote is passed, this goes to ratification by MetricsDAO governors. And you can find the list of governors on our documentation as well. So hope that helps, and you're more than welcome to check all that out and to comment on discourse. And let's see what other questions came in. And actually, Elise, do you have anything to add on the governance?
No, thank you.
All right, I'm just going through the chat. And in the meantime, if any of you have questions that were not yet answered, in this batch of maybe the last couple of questions, you are welcome to unmute your microphone and ask. And thank you, Elise, for sharing the light paper in the chat for the app. So if anyone would like to check it out and kind of read more about the process and more kind of technical details about some of the portions of the app, you are welcome to. Let's see. If someone has a question that kind of hasn't been answered yet, you are welcome to post it now in chat or to ask using voice. Kind of a last call at this point for questions, since we are at about half an hour mark. And I see some typing, so we're just gonna give it a moment. All right. And are there any other resources, at least in addition to the blog post and the light paper, that you would like the community to see for the app?
I think that's a good start. And after the new year, we'll be setting up a demo to share with you all as well.
Awesome. We're actually really excited for the demo to see the app in action. We'll invite you all to check it out once that's ready. Okay, and I don't see right now any other questions that are coming in, and I do hope that we answered as much of it as we could, or all of your kind of burning questions are answered. And if not, we do have the thread going in our general channel. So if you go, if you don't see it, you can start kind of up top in the general channel. You'll see a hash symbol where you can click and find all the threads. And there's a thread that talks about questions about the upcoming app. So you can ask us there. We'll try to answer as much as we can. MetricsDAO is, I would say, MetricsDAO is on a bit of a holiday break next week. Many, if not most, of our contributors will be largely offline. So if you don't hear from us right away next week, that's why. And we will be catching up on your questions come January 2nd in the new year. Also, I do want to remind you, I posted in the chat a link to claim your Xmetric for being here. As you might know, when you're here with us live, we like to note that and reward you with a bit of Xmetric. So if you would like to claim yours for being here today, let me just repost the link again in the chat. And this will close, the link will close a little while after the live call. So be sure to do it either now or kind of soon in the next few minutes. We usually close it about an hour after. Let's see if there's any other final questions. Yeah, I don't see any. We hope we gave you this peek behind the curtain and kind of look at what's coming and what we're excited about for 2023. And thank you so much, Elise, for giving an overview and answering all the questions.
My pleasure. Thank you all.
Thanks. And yeah, that's all we have for you today. Have a happy holiday season. We'll see you with a lot of exciting stuff in 2023. See you back here. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.